Good morning. How are you today? It's a nice Friday here. We're in our 60s, but it'll get warmer later today. The uh, the headline, I think, is our failed democracy. That is both parties right now, and for different reasons. The Republicans supporting nothing short of an autocracy, because otherwise they can't get sufficient votes to get elected. So they have to seize power. In the past, it was slowly. Now it's become more rapidly by way of insurrection and by way of unpatriotic, indeed traitorous behavior. And the Democrats, they sort of act like they hope it's going to go away. So before you think I'm being too unfair, consider the following. There's this mathematical puzzle in which you draw an arrow and you release it, but you measure it, it's always going halfway to the target. And that means it's never going to get to the target. In this puzzle, it's always halfway. So how are the Democrats like that on the special committee that's supposed to investigate the insurrection? And in my opinion, sit in an easy chair and look at the windows. Because consider the fact that Bannon, for example, to choose one of them, has failed to satisfy a subpoena. The committee knew about it beforehand. The committee could have planned to act immediately, as you would with a child, like Bannon is a child. Give me, take what he wants, no matter how ill our nation suffers for his misconduct. And he's never been a friend of the Republic. He believes in a revolution from the right, to take over what is free and what is democratic, and to give us a dictator. And he hasn't chosen a benevolent dictator. He's chosen Trump, who is a true enemy of the people, of what's good and best about America, what is about taking care of the Commonwealth of the United States, the general welfare. In our Constitution, it says to promote the general welfare. But they're not interested in that. They have their pals, and that's who they want to take care of. So what is so different today that I should choose this as a subject that we've gone over? And the answer, in my extemporaneous manner, goes like this. Last night there was a rally in Richmond, Virginia, in connection with our gubernatorial race between McAuliffe, a former governor, and Youngkin, who's a fellow who's never done a damn thing in public service for anyone ever. He just happens to be wealthy, and he can fund his own campaign and lie and mislead along the way that, oh, he's a good candidate and better for Virginia. Well, last night the lie was put to that when at a rally, attended by Bannon, by the way, they hoisted a flag that was used during the insurrection on January the 6th, and they pledged allegiance to that flag. Now, some may not be moved by symbolism, but it cannot be lost that symbolism can correspond to severe and terrible and dangerous actions. Trump called to that rally, and others spoke at that rally on behalf of Youngkin. McAuliffe, to his credit, and others called out Youngkin, who was not in attendance, and he said it was wrong and weird. Really, wrong and weird. Which just goes to show we have a guy who can't control his own people, and you know what that can lead to. And on top of it, he would seek the benefit of it without being so directly contradictory. So Trump wants to win this election any way he can, and he figures by firing up his base in Virginia, he'll accomplish that. I'm hopeful that the Democrats, that is the voters, not our elected officials, who are as cowardly as could possibly be, who will wait until next week sometime to have a vote and then talk to the Justice Department about how they execute it. They should arrest the bastard and put him in the basement on the Capitol. Give him some of his own medicine. We have the power. It has been used before, and we don't need an eternal court proceeding to get to the end of the line here. This nation cannot afford to waste more time. We do not, I've said it before, we don't want a campaign issue, but apparently that's fine for Democrats. They want to be able to point fingers without having done anything. So that's the tragedy of American politics. We have one party that would seize the government and is active and holds its breath as to the public business, refusing to cooperate with the Democrats even as to our debt ceiling. And then we have the Democrats who pause, like that arrow, always halfway to the target, never quite getting there. It's not sufficient, it's not acceptable, but it is the order of the day. If you're the type of person that calls up your local office, Congress or the Senate, call them up and say, you guys, you Democrats have got to act now. This is not some academic debate. This is about the future of America. This is about our definition as a republic. This is about fighting enemies of the nation who openly oppose us. And there we have this criminal Trump out there and nobody's doing anything about it. No U.S. attorney. So, I didn't get out of the wrong side of the bed. The other side decided to advance this into an area that we have rarely seen in America, in which we have people who want to take over our government in an undemocratic way, and they don't care about how this nation was formed or what it's fought to be all these many years. So, that's all I got to say today from our Cathedral of Trees. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.